Psalm 21, a song of victory. This psalm is a powerful declaration of triumph and gratitude attributed to King David, a man after God's own heart. It is a song that has resonated through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of faith in the human spirit, a king's declaration of God's goodness. David, the shepherd who became a king, knew the highs and lows of life. He experienced the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yet through it all he remained steadfast in his faith, always giving glory to God. David, the shepherd king, rejoices in the Lord's power. He remembers his humble beginnings, tending sheep in the fields, and how God chose him for greatness. His journey from shepherd to king was marked by divine intervention and unwavering faith. He has seen God's hand in battle in life. David's victories were not just his own, they were manifestations of God's power and favor. In every battle he felt the presence of the Almighty, guiding him, protecting him, and granting him success. This psalm echoes with joy. It is a celebration of God's faithfulness and a reminder of his promises. The joy that David expresses is not just personal, it is a collective joy shared by all who trust in the Lord. It reminds us God fights for us. In our battles, both big and small, we are not alone. Just as God fought for David, he fights for us today. This assurance gives us the strength to face our challenges with courage and hope. He delights in our well-being. God's love for us is profound and unwavering. He takes pleasure in our happiness and well-being. Just as a father delights in the joy of his children, this psalm is a beautiful reminder of that divine love. We can almost hear the music, the shouts of triumph. David's words are timeless. They transcend the ages, speaking to the core of our human experience. The psalm's melody of victory and praise continues to inspire and uplift us. They speak to the deepest longings of our hearts. In David's words, we find a reflection of our own desires and struggles. His psalm resonates with anyone who has ever sought strength, comfort, and reassurance in the face of adversity. For who among us doesn't yearn for victory? We all face battles in our lives, whether they are external conflicts or internal struggles. David's psalm reminds us that victory is possible and it is achieved through faith and reliance on God. Who hasn't faced giants of fear and doubt? These giants can seem insurmountable, but David's life and his psalm teaches that with God, all things are possible. We can overcome our fears and doubts just as David did. In David's words, we find hope, we find courage. His psalm is a beacon of light, guiding us through the darkest times. It reminds us that no matter how difficult our journey may be, we are never alone. With faith, we can triumph over any obstacle. The king rejoices in your strength, Lord. In the ancient scriptures, we find King David, a man after God's own heart, expressing his profound joy and gratitude for the strength that comes from the Lord. His words are not just a declaration, but a heartfelt celebration of divine power. David, a shepherd boy turned king, knew the source of his victories and the foundation of his reign. It wasn't his own might or the size of his army, but the strength of the Lord that he relied upon. David's words burst forth with energy. They are filled with a vibrant, almost palpable sense of awe and reverence. Imagine the scene, a young David standing before the giant Goliath, armed not with a sword or spear, but with faith. His confidence was rooted in the knowledge that the Lord's strength was with him. This same energy and faith carried him through countless battles and challenges, always pointing back to the divine source of his strength. He knows where true strength lies. It's not in the physical prowess or the number of soldiers at his command. True strength, David realized, comes from a deep, unwavering trust in God. This trust is like a tree standing firm against the fiercest winds, its roots deeply embedded in the soil of faith. It's a strength that doesn't waver with circumstances but remains constant, anchored in the eternal. Not in armies or weapons, but in the Lord. David's victories were not because of his military strategies or the weapons he wielded. They were because he placed his trust in the Lord. This is a powerful reminder for us today. In our battles, whether they are physical, emotional, or spiritual, the true source of our strength is not in our own abilities, but in our reliance on God. Haven't we felt this too? In moments of despair, when we feel overwhelmed by the challenges before us, there is a strength that comes from beyond ourselves. It's a strength that lifts us up, gives us hope, and carries us through. This is the same strength that David rejoiced in, the strength of the Lord, that surge of joy when we witness God's power. It's an indescribable feeling, a surge of joy and gratitude that fills our hearts when we see God's hand at work in our lives. Whether it's a prayer answered, a storm calmed, or a burden lifted, these moments remind us of the divine strength that is always available to us. When He answers a prayer, calms a storm, or lifts a burden, these are the moments that reinforce our faith and remind us of the power and love of our Creator. They are the times when we feel closest to God, when His presence is most tangible and His strength most evident. It's a joy that runs deep. It's not a fleeting happiness, but a profound, enduring joy that comes from knowing we are not alone. This joy is rooted in the assurance that God is with us, guiding us and strengthening us every step of the way. It whispers, "You are not alone. I am with you." In the quiet moments, in the midst of our struggles, this gentle reminder brings comfort and peace. It's the voice of God assuring us of His presence and His unwavering support. God's strength becomes our strength. When we rely on Him, we find a source of power that is far greater than anything we could muster on our own. This divine strength enables us to face our challenges with courage and confidence, knowing that we are supported by the Creator of the universe. This is the source of David's joy. It's the same joy that we can experience today, a joy that comes from knowing and trusting in the strength of the Lord. As we navigate the ups and downs of life, may we, like David, find our joy and strength in God. God grants the desires of David's heart. Victory in battle, a kingdom established. This isn't about material wealth. It's about God's faithfulness, about His promise to bless those who love Him. We all have desires, dreams we hold dear. God cares about those dreams. He wants to bless us, to see us flourish, but it all starts with seeking Him first. David's trust in God is unwavering. From the moment he faced Goliath with nothing but a sling and a few stones, to the times he sought refuge in the wilderness, David's faith never wavered. He believed that God was his protector, his shield, and his fortress. This deep-seated trust was not born out of ease but through trials and tribulations. Each challenge he faced only strengthened his resolve and deepened his reliance on God. He has faced giants and emerged victorious. Not just the literal giant Goliath, but also the giants of fear, doubt, and despair. In every battle, whether on the battlefield or within his own heart, David emerged stronger because he leaned on God. His victories were not just personal triumphs, but testimonies of God's power and faithfulness. They were reminders that with God all things are possible. Why? Because his faith was anchored in God. Like a lighthouse guiding ships through stormy seas, David's faith provided him with direction and hope. It was his anchor in the midst of life's tempests. He knew that no matter how fierce the storm, God's light would always lead him to safety. This unwavering faith was his greatest strength and his most valuable treasure. He knew that even in the darkest valley, God was with him. Whether he was hiding in caves or walking through the valley of the shadow of death, David felt God's presence beside him. This assurance gave him the courage to face any adversity. He understood that God's presence was not just a comfort but a source of strength and guidance. It was this divine companionship that enabled him to navigate the darkest moments of his life. This trust, this unshakable faith, is what pleases God. It is not the absence of fear, but the presence of trust that delights the heart of God. David's life is a testament to the power of faith. His prayers, his psalms, and his actions all reflected a heart that was fully committed to God. This kind of faith moves mountains and opens doors to divine blessings. It is a faith that God honors and rewards. It's a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. In times of uncertainty and fear, faith shines the brightest. It illuminates the path ahead and dispels the shadows of doubt. Just as a lighthouse guides ships safely to shore, faith guides us through the challenges of life. It is a constant reminder that we are never alone and that God's light is always with us, no matter how dark the night may seem. It's a choice we make each day. Every morning we have the opportunity to choose faith over fear, trust over doubt, and hope over despair. This daily decision shapes our lives and our destinies. It is a conscious act of surrendering our worries and placing our trust in God's hands. By choosing faith, we align ourselves with God's will and open our hearts to His blessings, to trust in His love, His power, His plan. This trust is not a one-time act, but a continuous journey. It is a daily commitment to believe in God's goodness and to rely on His strength. As we lift our hands in prayer and open our hearts to His presence, we find peace, joy, and purpose. Trusting in God transforms our lives and empowers us to face any challenge with confidence and grace. David doesn't shy away from the reality of enemies. There will always be opposition, challenges and trials, but he declares a powerful truth: you will make them turn their backs. God protects His own. He shields us from harm, not always from the storm, but always in the storm. This is the confidence we have in Him. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Psalm 21 is a call to action, to live in the light of God's victory, to face our giants with courage, knowing He is on our side. David's words are a battle cry, a song of triumph. They remind us we are more than conquerors through Christ. We can face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, because He has already won the victory. We may not be kings, but we are children of the King. And like David, we have our own songs of praise. We've experienced God's goodness, His faithfulness, His love. Let us write our own psalms. Let our lives be a testament to His grace. Let our words and actions declare, the Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy. Centuries have passed since David penned these words, but God hasn't changed. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The God who fought for David fights for us. He is the God of miracles, of second chances, of unending love. He sees our hearts, hears our prayers, and longs to shower us with His blessings. Psalm 21 is a tapestry woven with threads of trust, triumph, and unwavering faith. It reminds us that we are never alone in our battles. God is with us, fighting for us, rejoicing over us. Let us cling to this truth, embrace His promises, and live lives filled with His joy and peace. So go forth today with courage and joy. Embrace the victory that is already yours in Christ. Let your life be a song of praise to the God who loves you beyond measure. Remember His promises, trust in His plan, and let His love be your guiding star. For in Him and through Him you are more than a conqueror. You are a masterpiece, a beloved child of the King.